This is Stars and Scopes with your friend Uma, updated every new and full moon with guidance based on planetary transits in the current sky and extra support from tarot. For accuracy, take a look at your rising sign first if you know it, and do feel free to listen to your sun, moon and rising if you'd like the full picture. If you're interested in your birth chart, check out the readings page at umaruby.com. And if you'd like to support the work, head over to buymeacoffee.com/umaruby and you can buy me a coffee. Finally, if you're a visual learner, look up Uma Ruby Tarot on YouTube and you can watch and learn. Okay, let's take a look. Hello Aquarius and Aquarius rising. Welcome to your horoscope for the full moon in Aries, happening on October the 10th at 7:55 a.m. if you're in the southern hemisphere with me. So as far as your lunation ritual, do it the night before on the Sunday. There'll be a beautiful, almost full moon for you to enjoy and to release and to relinquish all manner of fire. I can really feel that this is going to be the catalyst for you, Aquarius. There's such a shift here and there's such a forward movement. If we can remember Aries, remember that fire and passion and direction that the Aries philosophy holds. The Aries is confident. The Aries is solo as well. There is something really singular about Aries that we can harness at an Aries full moon. For you, Aries rules your third house, which is your communication styles, the way that you interpret information, the way that you write, the way that you exist in the village, you know, as far as your relationship with your neighbors or your, you know, localized space. There's something here that's got you on the march and moving and setting free. I see that there's definitely options that you have, or perhaps there's been multiple pathways that you've wanted to take or that you've been thinking about, or maybe these are escape routes, or maybe these are possibilities. You know, there's possibilities for emotional connection that I feel for you, Aries. I'm not sure if you're on the path right now to go and seek, to go and, oh, frick. Well, you got an extra 5 minutes. There we go. No, that'll be nice. That'll give us a bit more time. Sorry, I'm so scatterbrained, but I think it's the Aries fire. What I see here, though, Aquarius, is that there has been many roads to take or many possibilities to examine and explore. I'm reminded of Mercury, and I'm reminded of the idea of moving ahead with information that you're downloading. You remember the last couple of months, the last couple of weeks, Mercury has been retrograde, so it has been a great moment to reconsider, reevaluate, to process and go over perhaps some of the finer details of what Spirit's trying to let you know now. Virgo for you is the 8th house, so it is the house of the great rebirth. It is the house of grief and release and soul contracts and death and regeneration. The 8th house reminds me of all the beautiful, profound ways that we're bound to people by deeper knowing, the way that we love them so intensely, and the way that we relish in that while we have them and while they're here, and how we feel that same emotion but a different color when we have to say goodbye. There's information here that you've had to process, and it's moving and shifting into your 9th house. So the sun is in Libra, and that's your 9th house, the house of travel, mind expansion, spirituality, publishing, greater knowing. So all of this information that you've been receiving from your 8th house, from that ecstasy and sorrow, you can take with you on this journey that you're on now. You can take with you into your ninth house, and you can help your mind to further expand by fully integrating that information and understanding and coming to know that the profound beauty of letting go is on par with holding close. I've got that trifecta sort of vibe here as well. There's in some way, and on this sort of solo path that you're on right now, on this sort of journey that you're on, this moving around, there's opportunity to collaborate, there's opportunity to come together with like-minded folks. There's great support that I can see, and it's kind of being highlighted that the sun is in trine with Saturn in Aquarius, your first house. So your ninth house is your I'll say it again, your ninth house is being supported right now by your sense of boundary in the first, by the sort of the solo nature of this journey is being supported. What am I trying to say here, Aquarius? You're surrounded. You're surrounded right now. You're surrounded by support. 1, 2, 3 Pentacles. That's a beautiful, even keel of weight bearing. And so, on this journey that you're on, if ever you feel that you have been shut out, if ever you feel that that sense of melancholy maybe might creep back in, that sort of sense of being ostracized, or there's some kind of like glow or golden warmth that maybe you don't have access to because the path that you're on at the moment is singular. And that potentially could lead to some more difficult nights. That could lead to something that might be bringing up some anxiety for you, bringing up some pain. I think the message here for you is that you're being guided on this path. So as you explore, as you go out, as you go and seek whatever it is that you're seeking on this solo journey, the company that you can know that you're keeping is with spirit. It's with angels. It's with whatever language that you like to use, whatever spirituality that you hold close to your heart. Whatever, when I say to you, there's an energy in the room, there's you're being protected, you're being guided by whatever sense of the word that rings true for you. It's very important for you at this time, at this full moon, to remember that is so, and that if ever you feel alone, if ever you feel secluded or ostracized or lonely, remember that support, remember that energetic field around you which is urging you on this path. The sun is in Libra. The sun is lighting up your ninth house of travel and mind expansion and philosophy. So absorb all you can. Venus is there too, the planet of beauty and art and love and the goddess. So they're almost hand in hand, and they are in trine, in supportive aspect with Saturn in Aquarius. That boundary in your first house is, you can feel support from that, okay? So as far as anyone or anything coming to you, consider it a force field, I would say. Saturn is your force field for this next bit of time, at this lunation in particular. Whatever village, whatever environment you find yourself in, whatever conversations that are coming up for you right now, whatever communication it seems that you might be having, which, let's face it, it could be a little heated at this full moon. It could be a bit sort of Aries. When you check that, when you're watching this, or when you see the full moon, remember it's a fire full moon. Remember it's an Aries full moon. So there's going to be a lot of passion attached to that moment. If anything comes up, if any old wounds come up, if anything needs to be looked at, you can look at it, and you've got the stuff to do so. And I would remind you that you are not alone. I think that that's probably the crux of this whole reading for this Aries full moon Aquarius, is that you are not alone, and you're being protected and guided and loved and supported the whole way. Take the time to yourself. Take the time to go there in this moment, at this moon. Because you can, because it's safe, because you're surrounded. There's going to be some creative activation for you as well. There's going to be some of that your creative expression is going to be amplified at this moon. It's going to be in support. There's a lot of support. There's a lot of change as well. There's a lot to look back on. There's a lot to be shared about the change, the shift, the ending that I can see here. And all of this, I think probably what the biggest message, the biggest cloud that I can see here, the commonality, the similarity again and again, is that you are so supported, Aquarius, and that this path that you're on right now, this journey, this lunation in the third, the way that you communicate and relate with others in whatever environment that is, whatever locality, whatever village you find yourself in, you're being encouraged and supported and emboldened to be yourself and to let what you know come forward. And you can share. You're an open book because you have that boundary of Saturn too, so you're protected. You don't have to worry about your safety. You don't have to worry about giving too much away or being a certain version perhaps of yourself for your environment. You don't have to worry about that, because this beautiful triangulation, I wish I could pick up my notes and show you what I'm looking at, but there's a lovely triangle that's happening here. And I can see that on this journey, on this path of discovery, on this new adventure, there may be moments where you feel left out, or there may be memories, there may be remembrances of times gone by, or what you've had to let go of in order to move forward, in order to get this happening. You know, I'm looking at Pluto right now. Pluto is stationed direct, very slow moving, and won't be in your sign full time until 2024. And that's when me and my Aquarius babes are going to hunker down and chill, and I'll support you through that. Don't you worry. There's something almost as if you kind of prepared for this, like, so Pluto's, you know, in your 12th house of your unconscious mind. So all of those revelations, all of those dances with the devil, you are prepared for and you're ready for. And in some ways, there's something about the translation of that experience that you might come to write about on this path. There's no light without shadow. It's impossible. Light can't exist without shadow. And your shadow is just as beautiful as your light. And your shadow will be with you for as long as your light is present. And so I think that the grand relationship that we can start to sew together, that we can recognize, and that we can come to an acceptance, maybe, of that duality within you, within everybody. You're not the only one. And I don't say that to discount your experience. I say that to support you and to help you feel welcome on this planet, in this life, on this journey. The individual that you exist as right now is so gorgeous. And the shadow has a lot the shadow has a lot to offer the light. So in moments of difficulty, maybe at this moon, maybe in the coming weeks, in moments of difficulty or loneliness, I think that you really will remember that you are indeed not alone, and that you're being surrounded by, whenever the shadow gets really inky, and really dark and difficult to navigate, remember that there is light around you too. And you can rely on that light for comfort. You can find it through breathing practices. You can find it through different forms of meditation. I'm sure that you are well aware of all the different ways to regulate some of the trickier times, Aquarius, so I won't bore you with them. But this journey of discovery, this multiple pathway portal that's just opened for you, needs to include your shadow too. You don't have to be a version of yourself in order to enjoy these new possibilities. You can be just exactly who you are. Some days light, some days dark. Both stunning. That's your reading, I think, Aquarius. Happy full moon. I love you heaps, as always. I'm going to be with you in 2 weeks, and we're going to discuss, I'm not sure how yet, but I'll figure it out. We're coming into eclipse season, so there'll be a solar eclipse in Scorpio, which will be sidewinding your public perception, how you're publicly perceived. So we've got some things to look forward to. But we'll talk about it then. Right now, let's just go with that full moon energy. Go with the confidence to share and to present and to converse as the person that you are. Yeah. I love you heaps. Get your birth chart read over at umaruby.com. If you're wanting to know the difference between your sun, moon and rising and the relationship that can be found in order to vibrate at your highest soul potential, then pick the spirit reading. Seems to be the most popular. I'll speak to you soon, Aquarius. Love you lots. Bye.